recognize that now's the time for a diplomatic solution because a coalition stands united in demanding that they meet their obligations. And we will do what is necessary to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon.
President Obama at the State of the Union repeating his warning to Iran when it comes to its nuclear ambitions. Well, also this week, there's a new report in the Washington Post that says Iran is trying to get its hands on tens of thousands of highly specialized magnets that are used in centrifuges. What does that all mean? Well, according to experts, that means that Iran is really seriously ramping up its nuclear program and, more ominously, could dramatically shorten the timeline needed to build a nuclear weapon. It certainly got our attention. Reuel Marc Gerecht is a former CIA operative and a fellow with the Foundation for Defense of Democracy. So, Reuel, I'll get to the news in just a moment, but you have quite an interesting story because after your time with the CIA, you decided that you were going to sneak into Iran. Just tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, I mean, quickly put, I had sent others into Iran, and I had not gone myself, so I sort of wanted to flip it, and I wanted to find out what it was like to go into Iran under somewhat difficult clandestine circumstances, and I did discover that it was fearful.
Fearful.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? It was just how long were you there, by the way?
I was there for a week. I went in via a truck from eastern Turkey, and it was an eye-opening experience. I wrote a book about it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for everyone.
Well, considering your skill set, we'll just leave it at that. Well, it's just interesting because so few people have been inside this country, and we talk about this really on a weekly basis about their move towards nuclear weapons. They say they're not, but of course, that's what is assumed. What is your takeaway from the latest news? Not only the warning from the president again, but this latest news about the magnets and centrifuges and activity inside of Iran?
Well, I'd take away several things, but I think the most important two would be, one, we fear that China has been a preeminent smuggling point for the Iranians. This seems to reinforce that suspicion. We still don't know whether the Iranians were successful in their objective to get these magnets. It could increase their centrifuge production enormously. And two, most importantly, it does reinforce the concern that I think everyone has had that the Iranians are aiming for a breakout capacity which is essentially undetectable. That is, by the time you figure out that they're moving to highly enriched uranium, you couldn't possibly check it militarily or by any other means.
Well, on that, Reuel, how good is our intelligence, do you feel, coming from inside of Iran, to know exactly what's happening inside the country?
I'd say it's probably pretty weak. I think the best intelligence is gathered by the UN watchdog, the IAEA. I think there are probably other electronic means that provide some assistance, but I doubt seriously whether we have human sources in the program that provide current and valuable information.
We're continuing to watch this story, again, only based on reports, but one that can be significant in Iran's move towards nuclear weapons. Reuel, great to have you on the program today. Thank you for the time.
My pleasure.